All right, welcome to the Business Freedom Podcast, where we help business owners and individuals save time, money, and make more profits. And I'm so happy today to have Brian Jackal here with SBI Realty and Starts with One Investment Group.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here. And Brian and I have known each other for quite a few years.
Yeah.
We're part of a BNI chapter together.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's been good times. So, Brian, I work with business owners, as you know, and we work together quite a bit. And we work with business owners to get more freedom in their money, in their finances, more freedom in their time, so they can choose what they want to do, what is important to them, freedom in their business. This is called Business Freedom Podcast. And what I see a lot, the problem is that I want to talk about today is a business owner can kind of put his head in the sand or always in the grind, always in the work, making good income. However, they don't know exactly what to do with those retained earnings, with those profits. How do I grow the business? Do I grow the business? So that's where I work with them. But it's also important to diversify.
100%.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
to diversify in what you're doing. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. But if you would start with kind of an introduction of your business and what you guys do.
Yeah. So, SBI Realty, we have always actually worked kind of hand in hand with small business owners. And the reason why is, of course, if you're in the corporate world, you're going to get your 401k, you're going to get your retirement benefits, all those kind of fun things. When you own your own business, you can make a great income, but you're not necessarily going to get your retirement unless you do your own, investment planning, whether that's in the stock market, mutual funds. We take the real estate approach.
Nice. And a
Right.
lot of times with sorry to interrupt you, to look into that, you're not looking at retirement until 59 and a half or 60. You know,
50.
when you're in 401k, when you're in that kind of bubble bucket.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So we look at helping investors or helping business owners to become investors where again you're gonna pick up your small, whether it's a duplex, whether you're gonna expand to a small apartment building, whether you want, retail space, but something where you can have passive income. You can let it grow while you're still working, while you're still running your business. And then, hopefully by the time you actually retire, even if you retire early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are retiring at, 45, 50 years old. You have passive income through real estate. And the great thing about it is, of course, with not only appreciation, but just cost of living adjustments, you know, if you feel like today you need to make $20,000 a month in order to retire, right? And you have a building that generates $20,000 a month today, well, whatever that, extrapolates to, in 30 years from now, your income is going to follow cost of living adjustments, right? So you can already be kind of rest assured that if you're making the money today, you're going to be making the money in 40 years from now. You're not going to get where Social Security, you're still making that same $800 a month, and all of a sudden it's worth nothing, in retirement.
Yeah.
So again, we try to help, business owners and other people, of course, but we kind of focus on people who own their own business, they're small business owners. How do I put money away for an investment into real property that's going to benefit them for retirement and just,
Yeah.
overall quality of life?
How's the market looking now as far as being able to get into a place? And then what would you recommend a small business owner start in purchasing a single family, a duplex like you talked about, a condo or apartment building? What's a nice place to start there for them, and how's the market looking for that in being able to rent it out?
Yeah, so the market actually right now for someone who's looking to get in is actually in a kind of a really good spot, because if you are getting something that needs a little bit of value add assistance, you can actually get that at a really good, good value right now. On the other hand, rents are still good. And so if you can pick up that value add and turn it into an A or a B property, you can pick up, again, just for a number, a property at, 1.5 million, do a little value add to it. And instead of buying that $3 million property, you own that $3 million property, but you only paid 2.2 for it because you were able to take something that needed a little bit of cleanup
Right.
and make it a great property.
Yeah.
And in San Diego, right? People need to live somewhere. People need to rent. And there is, you can offer a value. You can offer a good product at a reasonable rent, and be a good owner, and also not gouge the tenant. You don't have to, be at the top of the market on rents
Mhm.
in order to keep quality tenants. There is a really good balance right now.
What's a sweet spot for a rental for a tenant as far as number of bedrooms for the amount of rent that you can charge? What's a sweet spot in our area? So we're in the San Diego County area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so San Diego County, again, I mean, if you're looking at a two bedroom, two bath, depending on your location, um, typically you're looking somewhere in the 2,500 range. Some markets are gonna command a little bit less. Some markets, if you're down by the water, if you're in a coastal community, you could be into the threes, of course. So it really just depends on, you know, where you're at. But again, your one bedrooms are going to be in the 2,000 plus or minus a couple $100. Your two bedrooms are going to be a little bit past your mid twos, and then so forth.
Yeah.
So again, sweet spot is I mean, I would say if you're a business owner and you're looking to invest, you want to get in, and then once you're in the market, once you have, you're building equity,
Hmm.
you can always grow from there. I wouldn't set your sights like at the top and then never invest, because you can never reach that down payment you need.
Yeah.
Um and and so yeah, that would be my approach if I was looking at, uh talking with someone on the first time.
Yeah. To get
Yeah.
to get started, get
Yeah.
off the ground. Yeah. And I like for business owners, I coach them through first get your business profitable, know your break even, know your numbers, and then once we start making some profit, where are we going to put that? First, let's establish the business so that it will give, it will provide for your family and so on for the future. Let's look into markets that we can expand into, and a big one is that second stream of income or additional stream of income, aside from just offering another product or service. And I know real estate isn't passive. I don't want to say it's passive income because there is some management, the management that you do,
Correct.
but it can look like passive income for a real estate or for a business owner to become a real estate investor.
Yeah, and if you hire the right property management company,
Hmm.
right? I mean, as the owner, it can be passive, other than conversations with your property manager of saying, this is the direction I want to go. Here's what I want to reinvest back into my
Hmm.
property. So if you have a good company that is actively managing your property for you, as the property owner, I mean, you can focus on your business and you're not going to ever want to give 100% control to anybody. You want to always know what's happening, making sure your numbers are staying good. But with the right property management, it should be pretty much passive income. Um, and just making sure that your property is always getting,
Yeah.
better and not deteriorating.
Yeah, I like that because business owners are busy. You know that they're
Right.
very busy. They don't have more capacity for another business.
Right.
Any spare time is spent with family or with things that they want to do, on the weekends or so on. So you will take that and take a property and completely manage it for them.
Sure, and that's going to be the same thing though in your business, right?
Hmm.
You're going to have, let's say, a project manager or a store manager, and you're counting on them to do,
Yeah.
their job, run a job site, right? Run your storefront, right? Because you can't be there 24/7, but your business still has to operate,
Hmm.
whatever it happens to be, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever that is, right? So you're always hiring some kind of a manager. So again, same as a property owner, your oversight is just to the manager,
Yeah.
right? It's the same as what you're doing in your business. Is you want to hire good managers who are just going to oversee your product, and make sure that, again, it's beneficial actively in your business and passively in your investments.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the diversification where one market, your job market could go down or your business could go down, but the real estate stays.
Yeah.
Or if the real estate market goes down, you still have your business.
Right.
Or maybe, thankfully the last decade or so things have been going well, and they both go up.
Correct. Well, and then one thing that we did actually recently, so we started another company which is starts with one properties.
Okay.
Um, and so with the reason that we did that is one, like every great investment starts with one, right? Every step forward
Yeah.
starts with taking that one step
First step.
to
Yeah.
to you know to helping your income, your retirement, whatever you're doing, right? It always starts
They
with
say
one.
that the hardest step in a marathon is the first one, right?
100%,
I
right?
wouldn't know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right.
I mean, yeah. So what that company does, that entity does, is we understand, of course, and I've been doing this for, over 25 plus years, so I've been doing it a while, is people who want to get involved in investment real estate are always like, man, the down payment's so high, or the renovation costs might be up there. And so what
Mhm.
we've actually done is what starts with one properties is we actually bring in like a collective group of investors. Um, Starts with one actually will hold the paper and hold the notes, so you're not obligated to the debt service.
Yeah.
And so instead of needing, $500,000 or more to buy into an apartment complex, right? You can do $100,000 investment. So for that smaller business owner that wants to get involved in real estate, and then they can again, we have a couple different models. One would be like your fix and flip. You have the apartment building,
Mhm.
right? Like we were talking about
Models
earlier.
such as like time frames?
Well, also it's just like, again, what I was talking about earlier, you can buy a property, needs some work. You're
Mhm.
buying it at, let's just say again, a 1.7 value. You're going to put a couple 100,000 into it, but realistically, that building as an A property is worth
Mm.
$3 million. So now you own a portion of a $2 million,
Yeah.
investment that's now worth $3 million, right? So you got instant equity. You're already getting a higher cap rate, right? And so again, someone that would need, anywhere between, let's just say 5 to 800,000 to go into that, depending on
Yeah.
what kind of cosmetic remodel is necessary. You could say, hey, really, I really like that building, I would love to be an owner in it, you know and I have $100,000,
And
or
you offer a portion of it.
and you
Yeah.
or and
And
you
you come in as a portion.
correct.
And then starts with one will handle all the real estate stuff, all the fixing up, all the
Correct.
renting, the property manager.
Correct.
Wow.
Yep. It starts with one, doesn't charge anything for the services. We just, we make a percentage on the back end.
Yeah. And you're
you know
also an investor in that.
we're also an investor in
Okay.
it as well. So we're just like you.
Yeah.
We just, we're
You've
also
got the contacts,
we're
you've got
managing.
the inside.
Correct. We hire the contractors.
Mhm.
All the contractors that we hire, of course, are licensed contractors
Mhm.
that are on there. Place the tenants. Again, we'll take a C property and turn it into an A property.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and then everybody benefits.
Yeah. That's great. What's the time frame on it? If somebody has that 50, 100,000,
Yeah. So different
or it just
ones.
depends.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some people who just want to go again, like fix and flip. They're interested in a property that we're gonna clean up, turn it into an A property, sell it. you
Mhm.
know our average returns are usually about 30 to 40% return on investment on those
Wow.
short-term ones. And then other people, again, like we were talking about, for that business owner that wants
Mhm.
long-term passive income, um basically same steps, other than the model on that one is going to be to hold the property
Yeah.
and collect rents.
So could they invest with you for a year or two, get some good returns, and then go out on their own and get their own single family rental or
100%.
duplex or something,
100%,
and
actually, and
then
that's a lot of the goal, right?
yeah, still
um,
within your network, and you can manage it.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, I mean, they might like the formula and just say, you know, I've made enough with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a partnership,
Yeah.
or it's not a partnership, but I don't want to be the investor anymore. I just want to be the entity. And we help people do that anyways, right? And right now, buy your own. You can really buy the same ones we're buying, or same type of properties that we look at to bring investors in. If you have the down payment, you are able to qualify. like buy it on your own, own it on your. We
Yeah.
still manage the properties. Um,
Are you guys looking for properties here in San Diego, California area or Southwest region, or are you open?
so we're open. We've actually acquired not with starts with one. We've acquired a couple properties in Texas,
Okay.
larger apartment buildings. Um, we also have properties in Arizona, but I would say the like active properties that we're hiring contractors for and
Mm-hmm.
everything else are all for the most part San Diego County, Southern California,
Mm-hmm.
just because we're very active in management. I would say whether it's myself or someone
Yeah.
on our team, we're probably at all the properties, uh,
Gonna be able to drive by.
literally
Yeah.
daily.
Okay.
You want to just make sure that uh, construction's happening the way it's supposed to be happening. You know.
Or on the rental side.
Yeah, the time
Yeah.
frames are happening the way they're supposed, and so we're very active in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, walking the properties, of course, with a number of properties. I mean, we almost have like inspections, happening a couple times a week,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and so we always like to be there when the inspectors come out and with the contractor to make sure that things are just moving the way they're supposed to move,
Yeah.
right?
Because you have to report to your investors as well.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And we want a quality product. I mean, whether
Mm-hmm.
we're holding a long term or we're selling it, right? We want a quality product at the end of the day, and we're paying for a quality product,
Yeah.
right? And so, and and then that works great as far as the small business side of things, because we're hiring contractors, roofers,
Yeah.
painter, so we keep the construction industry busy as well. So, yeah, no, it's good.
Nice. So with starts with one investments. I love your model and how that works. What are some of the first steps if a business owner is listening to this today, where they can say, yeah, I do see myself making some profit this year, or I do have a little nest egg. I was thinking of maybe buying new vehicles, or sometimes they get some tax breaks by doing that.
Yeah.
Um, how can we start a conversation?
I think that's just it. Like,
Yeah.
let's start a conversation.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I'm always open for a conversation. I think definitely sitting down and talking is one. Knowing what your budget is important. A lot of the projects are like ongoing, and so if you
Would you
think,
recommend that somebody starting with you start off with a smaller project to get their feet wet a little bit, or does it not matter, or just depend on their appetite for risk?
yeah, I mean, I think that the time frame is the biggest one, right? Are you looking for something that you want to hold short term, less than a year? We actually have quite a few projects that we're doing, value add, where we're building ADUs. I
Okay.
know you've built
Yeah.
ADUs,
Yeah. Yeah.
before, and so as especially depending on the market, you can build, for less than what the property's worth at the end of the day, right?
Hmm.
But you're going to go through permits, you're going to go through plans, you're going to go through a process. So are you trying to get back out of your investment in a year? Then here's the type projects that you want to look at.
Yeah.
If you're looking for 18 months, 2 years, possibly a
Yeah.
couple snags along the way,
As we know, the permits is at least 6 months.
right, but you're going to get a better
Yeah.
return on investment,
Right.
right? Then here's these type of projects that would be
Hmm.
and then if you're looking for a long-term hold strategy, then these are the type of buildings or projects that. So I think one of them is to sit down and find out what your strategy is, and what you're looking for,
Yeah.
and really for what we're doing right now. I mean, we have everything from doing a nice little remodel on a duplex, up to building 9 units in OB right now.
Wow.
So again, that kind of fits that entry level investor up to again somebody who might want to invest four or $500,000.
Yeah.
So we can kind of fit that gamut. They're all very similar, and then they're all completely different.
Hmm.
So usually, once we've talked to people, we'll take them out and show them a couple properties that are either A, completed, B, kind of just starting, or B, I love walking the properties and going, okay, here's this duplex, but here's going to be where the you know 4 6 more
Yeah.
units are going to end up, or this is what we're, you know, so
Yeah.
I always, you know, enjoy that. So again, once we get to someone who's, you know, serious, we always, you know, like to take them out and walk a couple of the projects so you
Hmm.
can see, you know, you can meet the contractors, see who, you know, who we're working with,
Yeah.
and
That
yeah,
that's so exciting. I mean, because somebody could go to from business owner, working hard, providing a nice product or service, doing what they do, what they love to do, and they're a real estate investor now.
yeah,
I mean, was just a little bit of input, a little bit of investment. Like
yeah,
you said, it starts with one. They can grow from there.
yeah,
If it's a good fit, you keep on going.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and again, I feel like you know, people are gonna use us or invest with us, and some of those people are gonna want to just own their own,
yeah,
and then some are just gonna be happy with the returns that they're getting, and say, you know, let them have the headache.
yeah.
Um, you know, I can you know, grow my business while I'm receiving, you know, passive income on the other side,
Yeah.
and you know, and then not worry about trying to, you know, manage construction while I'm trying to, you know, run my cabinet store or my lawn care business
Hmm.
or whatever that happens to be.
Yeah.
And so again, we try to fit a model for a group, and really then everything becomes
Yeah.
individualized as far as, you know, what works for you.
Yeah. And all the big numbers that business owners see all sounds great, but it doesn't matter how much you make. It's what you do with what you make.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And you always want to work on your, you know, in my opinion, your investments before you work on your luxury,
yeah,
right?
that'll
Because
pay for your luxury.
exactly, exactly.
Little
That's
rich dad, poor dad there.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, once you have your investments, again, whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market, mutual funds, whatever you happen to be doing, right? Once you're generating that, you know, monthly, you know, passive, you know, income from wherever it's coming from,
Yeah.
that can pay for your trips, your cars, your cruises, your, you know, all the fun things in life, right?
Right.
But if you spend all of that as it comes in, you never can afford the investment. So why not buy the investment? And again, I love real estate, always loved real estate. So that's always going to be, you know, my preferred method,
Yeah.
right? But again, whether you're in the stock market, you're doing, you know, you're working with your financial planner, you know, and again, the two can go together. We actually work with a lot of financial planners of, again, people diversifying. They're going to make money in real estate, they want to put it into some stocks and
Hmm.
mutual funds and everything else, right? And then on the reverse, you got the other ones. They've always been stock heavy, and you know, they want to
Yeah.
be in the real estate game a little bit also. So I mean, there's enough for everybody.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great market here. And I know you guys have a lot of experience. What I really like is that you're in the investment as well. You're
Yeah,
you're not just facilitating it, you are in it. You've got skin in the game. So you're gonna make it happen.
correct.
And
Yeah,
there's ways to do that, and you're a professional at doing that.
yeah,
Man, well, I really appreciate your time here. It's been fun. I think we got to do it again
yeah,
one
definitely.
day. Yeah,
Yeah,
but well, why don't you go ahead and give your contact information? Anybody who's watching, give your phone number or your website.
sure, sure.
Yeah,
So you can call us, you know, at 619-888-1916. That's going to be the office cell. So you can call it, you can text it. That's fine. 90% of the time you're going to get me.
nice.
So yeah, so feel free to call me. And then of course, sbirealty.net. So S as in Sam, B as in boy, I as in indigo, realty.net. We are working on a little bit more content on our website. That's always been my
A
problem,
challenge. Yeah,
is the
right.
is the is the digital part of it. And then again, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on, you know, on Instagram, both SBI Realty and Starts With One Properties. And so we do try to post a lot of the projects, and we're very open about it. We'll tell you what the purchase price was, you know, what the renovation budget was, and you know what it sold for. And so we're very open on
Yeah.
about what we do. And so yeah, you can definitely go visit us
Okay.
on social media as well.
Yeah, sounds good. I look forward to it. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And
Thank
if
you.
you're a business owner and you would like to put your money to work and not just the things that you do, but also get invested in the real estate market, I invite you to check out Brian and the things that he's doing, which starts with One Investments, and we will help you work in your business or work on your business, not just in your business.